Hey, what's up everybody? This is Dan. Welcome to my first episode of my music review show, which doesn't have a name yet. Go figure. What I'm going to be talking about are some of the albums and some of the music that has had a profound influence on my life, and I want to share with you guys how I listen to this music. The first album that I'm going to talk about here is the Moody Blues Days of Future Past album, and specifically I'm going to talk about the 50th anniversary edition, which just came out recently. What's going on here? Let's take a look at the packaging first. Standard cover there, tracks on the back. Let's get on to the inside. First thing we get here is this mini fold-out poster here. Not really sure what that artwork is there. I've never seen it before. But then on the back side, pretty cool. We get pictures of all the picture sleeves, it seems like, and various labels of the singles from the year 1967. Very cool. Also get a booklet. Again, just a little bit of a backstory on the band, what was going on during the era, some cool pictures. Not bad. Now, the most important part, let's get to the music. This is a 3-disc set. The first disc, which to me is the essential piece to this whole set, is the first appearance digitally of the 1967 original mix, which has only been available if you had an original vinyl copy, which thankfully I've had for many years, so I am pretty familiar with this mix. But for anybody who doesn't have a vinyl setup, you're going to get the original 1967 stereo mix, which is going to be the vision of what the band really wanted to have with this album, and it definitely does have differences from the remix. My first copy that I ever had of this album was of the remix. I had a CD. That was the way that I was used to hearing this album, and then I eventually obtained an original vinyl copy just because I wanted to have a vinyl copy, not knowing anything about the whole remix thing, and definitely was pleasantly surprised with what I heard that first time. So it's definitely cool that we have that here available for the first time, that original 1967 stereo mix. Also some bonus tracks on that first album here. We have a couple of singles, and then some live BBC recordings, which again are pretty cool. These have been available in the past digitally, but as part of this set, with this whole refresh, definitely cool to have. Disc 2, the CD version of the stereo remix, which has been available ever since the CD has come to market. Nothing really revolutionary here. The only thing that is kind of striking me with this whole thing, with this remix, is that I always thought that the remix was made in 1978. Now on this new set, they have a year of 1972 on the stereo remix. So, and there's really nothing in the booklet that's really telling us the story about the 1972 to 1978 thing. I've looked all over the internet to try to see if I can find something on this. I haven't been able to find anything, but for the purposes of this set, this is the 1972 remix. We're just going to kind of go along with that. And then again, on this disc also here, we got some bonus tracks. We have a few alternate mixes and alternate versions of some of the tracks off of the album, and then also some mono single masters, which are really cool because you're going to get some non-album tracks on here too that were released as singles. And then finally, we have the disc 3, the DVD. 5.1 surround mix at 96 kilohertz, 24-bit. What are my thoughts on this thing? Well, first of all, it's derived from the 1972 quadraphonic mix, which is cool. Never really been too fond of the surround mix on Days of Future Past. Nothing revolutionary here. And in fact, there's something that I do have here. This is actually the 2006 remaster of Days of Future Past, which did have the 5.1 surround sound also on this package. So I've had a surround sound. version of this album for quite some time. Like I said, it really hasn't done anything for me. There's nothing really new for the 5.1 surround mix on the 50th anniversary edition. So if you're just looking to get the surround mix on this thing, if you have the 2006, I would say just keep your 2006. You're not getting anything really new when it comes to the surround on this one. There's also a high-res version of the 1967 original mix on here, which is really cool. I mean, what else is there to say about it? You get the original high-res, it's awesome. And then finally on the DVD, there's some visual content. There's a live concert from I'm definitely gonna butcher this one in Midem from France, and it's gonna have actually there's a 3-song complete concert by the Moody Blues on here, which is gonna include Peak Hour, Tuesday Afternoon, and Nights in White Satin. It's a very cool video. I thoroughly enjoyed it. The picture quality and sound quality, fairly good for the period, and you know, you're getting DVD quality. A beef that I would have on here, I would have liked to have had a Blu-ray when it came to that final disc, but you know, this is Universal. I don't know what their thought was on keeping this on DVD. Do they think that DVD is still more accessible than Blu-ray at this point, especially, you know, for the target audience for this particular set? That's a question I can't answer. Okay, so my final verdict on this whole thing here. The pros of this set. The pros is you get the original mix for the first time, which is definitely, you know, something that I think that was very needed. The big story on the original mix was that the tapes were just so damaged they couldn't use them. The album ended up getting remixed, and then for me, this whole story it almost takes a completely different turn. I mean, I can understand if it was 1978 to 1967, okay, we're looking at 11 years, 11, 12 years, whatever, on that one there, and you know, we could have some tape damage, but I mean, we're talking about 1972 now, so we're talking about a 5-year gap where, unfortunately, these tapes got so severely damaged. Decca, they decided that, you know, we needed to remix this thing and clean this thing up. So very cool. You get the original mix, and I will say with the original mix, great thing about it is the original vision of the band. This is the way the album was intended to be heard, but I mean, you can definitely tell it is murky sounding. It's not the greatest recording in the world. If you're familiar with this album, there's definitely I hear to my ears different sound quality between what we have with the Moody Blues were recorded, and then also the orchestral recordings to me are just two completely different animals on there, and I can definitely hear the difference between the two. You're also going to get a remix, which, you know, it's been available for forever. If you already have a remix, again, nothing really revolutionary here. This is actually based off the 2006 remaster. So if you have that already, like I have, you're getting nothing new there. The bonus tracks, again, nothing new. It's just a copy and paste job from what was off the 2006 remaster. The final one, the high-res portion, you're going to get a high-res version of the original 1967 stereo mix, which is awesome. To me, it sounds really good. I'm definitely happy that I have a copy of that now. The surround, the mix, take it or leave it. Some people like it, some people don't. I'm not really particularly fond of it. Whenever I listen to Days of Future Past, I'm going to a stereo version of it, and now, like, one of the things that I can definitely say by taking this set now, really going into the listening back to the 1967 and the 1972 mix, I mean, I can definitely gain some greater appreciation for the 1972 remix, just because it does sound cleaner. There are parts that are missing off the 1972 mix that you're not getting on the 1967 mix, and I'm going to attach a link to the wiki into the description of this video here, just so you guys can see, take a listen. Okay, what was chopped off in the remix that we have in the 1967 mix? I know, like one for me, one clear thing is on Peak Hour. you're missing the overdub vocals on that one there, and that's definitely clear. And if you haven't heard the original mix, you're going to be pretty much, you know, blown away on that one. That it's definitely a different sound to that actual track. My final verdict on this thing, actually, well, before we go to the final verdict, let's go into the cons. There's a lack of a high-res version of the remix on here. They only provide you with a high-res version of the original mix. Why not the remix? I'm sure that they probably ran out of room because they used DVD. If they used Blu-ray, there would have been plenty of room where they could have thrown a high-res version of the 1972 remix, but lo and behold, if you have the 2006, as I said there, take the poster, the 2006 remaster of Days of Future Past, you will get a high-res version in the SACD format of the remix. So if you're a big fan of that remix and you have the 2006 remaster, don't get rid of it. If you have a SACD player, this is the only way you're going to get a high-res, unless if you want to go to a high-res download site like HD Tracks. They do have the high-res version of the remix on there. The surround version of this album here, it's DTS sound. It's not a lossless codec. That's a miss there for me. Not that my ears can really discern very well between lossless and lossy, but just to have it there. I mean, if I'm looking at some of the other remaster projects that involve surround, like the Yes and King Crimson, they include lossless surround tracks on the albums, so it is possible. And again, I'm sure that they were dealing with some space restraints when it came to using DVD rather than Blu-ray. So to me, that's a miss. Finally here, the packaging. I mean, the packaging is pretty standard. I mean, if you have some of these deluxe edition sets with, you know, these fold-out digipacks, you know, they are what they are. I probably would have, you know, maybe even preferred more of like a book format, which you're seeing with some of the new Jethro Tull remasters with the surround mix on there. They come in a nice book, has a lot of content in them. They definitely feel special. To me, this doesn't really feel that special. I mean, the music is what you get, but I mean, packaging wise, what's cool about it, yeah, I could toss it on my shelf back there, not a problem. So if you're into that, into the storing of the stuff, that's great. But I don't know, an album to me that is this important, 50th anniversary of the album, I feel like the packaging could have been a little bit better, a little bit different, because I mean, when you're talking about here, you know, 2006, I mean, they were trying to, you know, lead up to the 40th anniversary of the album, and then here you are with the 50th anniversary. It's the same, it's essentially the same thing, but you're getting the original mix on this one here. But my final verdict on this thing, would I suggest you buy it? Absolutely. Just to the fact that you are going to get that original 1967 mix for the first time on CD on here. Unless if you're a vinyl person, you don't have it in your collection. That's just, you know, plain and simple. No matter, this thing has just been reissued to the depths. It's just been out there forever, and you don't have the original mix until you get the 50th anniversary edition. But I mean, anything else, if you have the 2006, as I said, definitely keep it, just because you're going to get the high-res version of the remix, which the 50th anniversary edition does not have. So all in all, I would say, do I recommend this thing? Absolutely. If you're a Moody Blues fan, go out there and get it. Buy it with confidence. I have a feeling you'll like it. As I said, the 1967 mix, if you're used to hearing the remix, is definitely going to blow you away, just from what you're missing in the 72 remix. Sound quality, it's definitely less than the remix, but for sure, you're a hardcore Moody Blues fan, you're a hardcore Days of Future Past fan, go out there and get it. Okay, that's the end of this video here. If you have any comments, if I messed anything up with any of the information that I gave, please go ahead, throw a comment down there. Totally cool with it. If you like it, definitely give it a like. If you think that this is entertaining, you want to hear more from me, go ahead and subscribe. And again, I'm Dan. This show has no name yet. So until next time, I'll catch you later. Thanks.